and welcome to Ascend with Courtney Smith. Today is a very special guest, my really dear friend, Himali, who, okay, we're gonna get into it, but you're gonna love her. She's a kindergarten teacher, she's a gym goer, she's a mom, she's a wife, she's a Midtown mom, homeowner of a detached home. That's a big deal. That's a big deal here, okay? Red brick detached home with a driveway that parks like 4 cars. Like that's impressive.
Thanks to you.
Aw, thank you. But I've just loved you since the moment I met you.
Aw.
Yeah. No, we met working out at F45 together. Mm-hmm. Pre-row. Yeah. So that was at least 3 years ago because he's 2.5. So that was actually like 3.5 years ago that we met. So we worked out together at F45 Leaside and then we just like got along and we just like kept in touch and one thing after another. I mean, it does help that I am Ron's niece.
Yes. Family first.
Family first.
But
no, and then we have been at SLMG together, South Leaside Mom Group, and now you're part of the exec team. We just hosted the probably the best event we've ever had. Like,
so cute.
No, seriously, the ticket sales were out of control. The decor was out of control. The activities, we had face paint. It was like a New Year's countdown on the 30th between 10 a.m. to noon. And you did like a countdown and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Babies deserve a party too.
100%.
Also, like, who really has the energy to stay up till midnight?
Also, like when my kid is around other kids, it's less parenting for me. So it was actually like a great way to break up the day. Yeah, and then we went home, we had lunch and a nap, and it was just
That's it. That was our day.
Exactly. Done. We survived another day of parenting.
Made it. Yeah. Winter break. Check.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
So funny.
I love it. Okay, so I think that you have to be an absolute saint to be a kindergarten teacher.
It's definitely an acquired taste.
So I have one 4-year-old. And I'm dying. You have how many people in your class?
28.
28 4-year-olds?
Yeah,
wow.
28, 3, 4, 5. Some are turning 6 now in the new year. It's like, That's I basically
crazy.
live in a world of small chairs and big feelings. that is my life. Small chairs, big feels at home and school.
Oh my gosh. I guess, because Rose 2.5.
Between that and school.
And there's Justin.
Yeah. Add the hubby into the mix.
Big baby. I'm
all?
hungry.
Hi, babe.
No, they are. Are your needs being met? Do you need a moment?
Man cold, real thing.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's A-okay now,
Oh, that's so funny. So what made you want to be a kindergarten teacher? How long have you been a teacher?
15 years.
Wow.
13 of which have been in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. I used to teach at Bayview, York Mills area at a tiny school there called Harrison. Such a sweet school. And then
I know Harrison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I know it as a school catchment as a realtor. But no, great reviews.
Yeah.
People love it.
Wonderful
very small
school.
catchment, very community oriented, very like walk to school culture, like very
It's like a
close
small school in the middle of these giant houses.
Yeah. I know.
But it's also one of those schools similar to where I teach now. I'm at Bessborough, where it's a public school, but very much like gives you that private school feels because, the teachers are all a lot of attention to detail and very much focused on the student needs, but also supporting the parents and stuff. So it's a lot of great stuff and great learning happening at both these schools. And I'm so fortunate that I've had the opportunity to teach at both. I've been at Bessborough since 2018.
That's a long time.
And I moved into Leaside in 2019 at a condo at Bayview and Eglinton. And loved it up until, when we had Rohan, and the bigger he gets, the more space we need, and, toddler life. So
I know, don't I know it?
Enter Courtney and found us a home and kept us in Leaside. Thank goodness for that.
Oh my gosh.
Love it here.
So many things I want to touch on. First of all, I'm so glad that you said that it's those kinds of schools that are like public, but kind of private school vibes, because that is how I would describe Midtown in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. The school catchments in Midtown, in my opinion, are like the fabric of the neighborhood. They are what sets the tone, and they are why these neighborhoods are so sought after. Like the number one thing people ask me when they come into, like I send them an address or send them a house, or they come into a listing or an open house is, what's the school catchment? Yeah. Like all anyone cares about is school catchments because it's such a big differentiator.
It's a big deal.
Toronto District School Board, I don't have to tell you the difference between school A, school B, and then school C. Huge difference. Yeah. And if you can get into one of these school catchments, and I mean get into because the only way to get into is living in the neighborhood. Yeah. like that's setting your kids up for an excellent future.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are fabulous teachers
Of course.
in all ends
Of course.
of the city, in various schools and neighborhoods that may not be the most sought after type thing either. But to be in the schools in this neighborhood, it's truly a blessing, because there are some
100%.
very enthusiastic, caring, like teachers that really just have their whole heart into what they do. And that really shows in the way the schools function too.
And I hope I'm not overstepping, or please
That's okay.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that I've never seen more engaged parents. Like the parents of the school communities of like Bessborough, Ralph Road, Northlea, Morris Cody, Allenby, like they are so engaged,
Yeah.
they're so passionate,
Yeah.
they give so much of their time, so many volunteer hours, like
Yeah.
so many sponsorships and initiatives of going towards new programming or hot lunches or
Yeah.
new playgrounds or after school programming or camps, like
Yeah.
field trips, even like holiday
We're so
parties.
lucky.
Like we are so lucky.
lucky.
And I think it's like the perfect storm of great teachers, a great school, great community and neighborhood and catchment. And then I think the like really heavily involved parents just create the trifecta of like such like a wholesome childhood.
So funny, because I always have like people say to me, like, don't you find that parents are just so hovering in some of these neighborhoods and stuff? And I think it's a fine line between hovering
And helping.
and being involved and helping and really just being a part of your child's education and upbringing. And I think the fact that parents are so involved actually makes a big difference here, because kids are seeing their parents not just at home, but in like other aspects of their life. So they're seeing them at the school, they're seeing them at, you know, events that are happening on the weekends and stuff. They're seeing them engage with parents of their friends. So I feel like it also trickles down into like their family life at home too, because then kids are
100%.
feeling a little bit more, like families can understand each other. They have more things to talk about. And in typical form in kindergarten, at least, it's like you ask your kid what they did and it's like, I don't know, nothing, play. But then the more involved you are in your child's life or connected to the school community, you automatically kind of know what's going on and you have questions that you can use to ask and probe them, and it opens up conversations at home too.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's all a part of, you know, being in this community. And you touched on something really important, that it's not just the schools and the teachers, it is very much like the parents and the schools and the teachers and everybody combined together, and it's a team effort, right? Like that whole saying about it takes a community or it takes a village to raise a child, 100%.
And honestly, like I want to expand on that. It's not even just the parents. It's all caregivers, nannies, grandparents.
Yeah.
So many of the grandparents are so involved in these neighborhoods. It's really, or like live in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned the nannies. It's interesting because there's also like a lot of, you know, judgment that comes with that, where people might say that, oh, you know, nannies, like how does that kind of reflect on child upbringing, and how does that affect when kids are like showing up at school and stuff? Well, it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. Like from my experience, I've seen actually the nannies are just as involved as parents, but it doesn't take away from what the parents are doing.
100%.
It's just kind of, again, team effort.
Exactly.
You know? And to see that they're on board and really like understanding what the teachers are saying and being a part of the process of learning with them is so great.
Yeah.
Because you can never have enough like support in your child's life.
If I could, I'd have a crew of 10. Who else can help me raise Lauren?
It's just more love, right? Like, and I think especially from at least the experience that I've seen with parents and nannies and like just caregivers in general in the neighborhood, is that it's not like, here's my child, here you go. It's a lot of like working together and everybody's kind of coming to a base plan and making sure that everyone's on the same page.
I know.
You know?
Do you have a JK SK split? So I had my first JK, like Lauren just started JK in September, so now we're in January. So she's had her first half year of real school. And we just had her parent-teacher conferences.
So good.
Like, how adorable to have like I think it's still actually insane to see a little 4-year-old in school.
Yeah.
Because they're toddlers. Like they're literal toddlers.
And some of them come in, they're still 3.
I know.
Like I have a few kids that just turned 4 before the break.
Yeah.
So they're small people when they come in.
Yeah. But, and you know what, I'm sure there's lots of different feelings, and different kids are like ready or not ready or have been ready for a long time. Lauren's a March baby. So when, you know, a lot of her like November, December friends from daycare were going off to school, she was like, what about me? Like, I want to go to school.
Yeah.
So she was like more of the like really ready ones. But I just think it's so great for their development to have the opportunity to go to JK and SK and be in a school environment, but it's still very protected. Like there's, JK, SK have their own, like, I don't know if Bessborough has their own playground. Most has their own playground. Yeah. And they're like, obviously it's designed for more little people.
Yeah.
And they have, different schedules and things like that. But I think it's so good for them. And I think that school in general mimics the real world, where there's a big ecosystem, there's a big community, there's a big, there's different classes and different ages and different this and that. And Lauren comes home with some of the most interesting stories. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah. But this is how they see the world, right? This is where they make their connections. This is where they do that big world thinking in their small environment and making connections to different situations every day. And we've talked about this in the past.
Little sponges, they pick up everything.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
But kindergarten I find is, and JK is optional, right? But kindergarten I find is so important because this is where they truly learn. I'm not talking about academic learning, just life learning, because academics will come. And as much as I'll have parents say to me oh, when's my kid going to start reading? And I'll say, okay, let's reel it back here, because the point of kindergarten is not just to say, okay, can your child read, write, do math? This is where we're learning problem solving. They're building their emotional intelligence. They're, learning how to navigate through the real world in a smaller scale, just kind of step by step how to take themselves through a routine in a day. So yes, they will be reading and writing and doing all the things. It just, kindergarten's a 2-year program for a reason. So let's not rush it.
Exactly.
I have parents asking me, oh, should I put them in Kumon and this and that? And again, it goes back to, we've talked about over-programming. Do we really want to put your kids through more structure when they've already been in
a structured environment all day?
Full day of structure. Yes. And kindergarten, to be honest with you, it is very play-based.
Which it should be.
As it should be.
As it should be, yeah.
That being said, there are still timings and routines to follow. So it is a lot. And they hold it all in.
Lauren comes home literally exhausted. Especially September, October. November she was better, but September, October, it was when I would pick her up, she couldn't even walk home, and we lived 2 stop signs away. 2 stop signs away. She couldn't walk home. Can you carry me? She was just totally drained. But also I can see her little brain making new connections and getting excited to participate in certain things. And she'll come home and she'll say these things like, Mommy, this is black and this is black, but they're not the same black, but they're similar.
They're similar. The vocabulary.
Oh my, she's is obsessed with the word similar.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mommy, there's a bow and that is what, but they're not the same bow, but they're similar. She's obsessed with things that are similar or things that rhyme. She's mad, sad, glad, happy. And it just, I can
they
see
pick
her
up on things so quickly.
And that exposure I think is so important.
Well, she was in childcare prior to.
She was.
Which also, and not to say that kids need to go to something before coming to kindergarten, but I found that in the past, there's a big difference between the students that come in with some kind of experience, whether it's preschool, daycare, something structured, versus the kids that have been only at home up until kindergarten. You can see a difference in how they transition into it. I mean, everybody gets through it, and it's a little bit tougher for some than others, but for the kids that have been in something, I find it is easier transition. So
interesting. Yeah. No, I mean, and there's no right way. We're all doing our best, and I truly believe every child and every mom, every parent, every family is unique. And as a mom, you know what's best for your child or what's important to you or what your core values are. But I definitely see a synergy, and I'm so passionate about the Midtown mom community. I'm such a Midtown mom. You're Midtown. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. It's just such a great. But I think it's really becoming. I don't know, a melting pot is not the right word, but what really excites me and why I was so excited to work with you as a real estate client too is to have people who are moving to the neighborhood, who are a part of the community, but maybe didn't grow up in the community, I know it sounds really extreme, but change the trajectory of their family legacy or, change their child's life. I love Rohan, your son. I think he's so sweet and cute.
He's obsessed with you.
I'm obsessed with him. I'm Courtney. I'm his girlfriend. He's my boyfriend. And don't worry, I got parents' permission. But no, he's gonna go to Northlea. You're in the Northlea school catchment, and Northlea is a phenomenal school.
We're so excited.
They have they have a daycare there.
They do.
Are you putting him on the wait list?
He's on the wait list.
Okay,
we'll see.
We'll see, but at least he'll be in for before and after care.
Yeah.
But Northlea is daycare through to grade 8 with a small, cute catchment with a very community feel that has an amazing French immersion program that feeds into the Northlea High School. But it's like when you decided to buy a home in Midtown in the Northlea School catchment, like where my mind goes is like what you're doing for Rohan.
Yeah.
And what an amazing childhood he's going to have, and amazing experiences and opportunities, and just it's just such a wholesome upbringing. And we are in the big city.
Yeah.
But I find it feels like a village.
It does, and it's so funny you say that, because I was talking to somebody recently. They were like, "Why did you buy a house in the city when you paid whatever amount when you could have paid that amount and gotten such a bigger space, like just even a little bit outside of the city?" And we said it's really not about the size, it's very much about the location for us. And it was because like we love this neighborhood. For me, Midtown was a life-changing experience on many levels, because I moved here 2019. I moved into the neighborhood, and it was going through a divorce at the time, just life-changing. And I found community that was supporting like on so many levels then, whether it was at work, whether it was at the gym, just like people I met in the neighborhood, my neighbors at the condo. As you know, we became so close to the extent where those neighbors are now like, my son calls them grandma and grandpa. And we visit them on the regular. Like we were there celebrating Hanukkah with them a couple of weeks ago, and just like we made family here, right? So between that and then building my own family here and providing those experiences that like we maybe didn't have access to as children.
Exactly.
And there's just so many things here in Midtown that, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but just like you have access to everything: parks, stores, restaurants, libraries, extracurriculars, like all the things, without needing to look for it.
Exactly.
Like you step out and
it's everywhere.
Go on a hike. You just go trails everywhere,
Ravines.
Yeah. Like you don't even need to sign up for anything. You could literally just walk into a public library and there's a circle time going on,
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the walkability, I think, is huge. And
huge.
Like I don't know many. So I grew up in a small town, and you couldn't walk anywhere. You had to get in your car because it was suburbs life. It's like everything is like a 5 to 10 minute drive. You're parking in a plaza. You're like, it's a very driving culture. And even if everything was 5-10 minutes away, but it was like you always have to get in your car. And one of the things I love about Midtown is like you can almost walk to almost anything.
Yeah,
grocery store, drugstore, like your gym, the subway station. Like you're just so it's so accessible, it's so walkable, it's so easy to get around everywhere. That if in this time, this day and age of the sedentary lifestyle, even I think the walkability of the neighborhood and the proximity to everything. If you get in your car, you're a literal 5-minute drive from absolutely everything you need, from your kid's school to your place of work.
Around the corner.
To the gym, to all the shops and cafes and restaurants, and like my entire social life is also here. Yeah. Like what the people I'm hanging out with are neighbors and live in the neighborhood. So I'm driving to a friend's house and we have play dates or dinner dates with the kids 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
All the restaurants we go to are like, the daughter, Alretta, piano, like they're all 5 minutes away.
Everything is so family friendly. Like even the fancy places are still so family friendly, and everybody's so understanding about the fact that we live in a neighborhood where there's children and they are welcome everywhere.
Totally.
That and dogs. Dogs are also welcome everywhere here in Leaside, which is so great for. I don't have one, but it's making us we're gonna have to get one, I think.
Yeah, I know. I want one too. I think specifically a golden doodle.
Yeah, so cute.
Up a baby and golden doodle are like the two neighborhood
Leaside checks.
Leaside checks.
So funny.
And oh my gosh, I saw this thing on Instagram and it was like ask ChatGPT how to describe people who live in Leaside, and it was like, if you don't have a bold print wallpaper in your powder room, like do you even live in Leaside? I said it to a bunch of friends and everyone was like, oh my god, guilty.
That's hilarious. Well, I don't live in Leaside then because we do not have one of those.
I don't have any wallpaper in my powder room, so yeah. But no, I think I think the culture here is extremely family oriented. Yeah. And that I think it goes back to like the home value really comes down to the proximity to everything, but also the school catchments. And it's like, if you're moving to a neighborhood for the school catchment, then obviously the businesses in that neighborhood should support the family oriented resident. Yeah. So it is very family oriented. And even when I was you probably found this too, walking down Bayview in Leaside, pregnant, with a newborn, the grandmas, oh, how old?
So helpful.
What are you doing? Oh, this is so sweet. It's just so, everyone almost just celebrates children. It's celebrated.
And just everyone wants to take care of each other in a way. And I feel like the neighborhood's probably changed a lot over the years. And, the dynamics of who lives here has changed over the years too, which I think is great because we're seeing so much more of a multicultural mix happening here now, which from my understanding, or even from when I did move in, I think it's already changed so much.
100%.
Which is so great for our kids to see, because you do want them to grow up in an environment where everyone's feeling welcome and accepted.
Totally.
And we want all kids to be seeing that too.
Exactly.
Because you may not see it in every aspect of your life, but at school or in your neighborhood, you should be able to see that all 100%. Are welcome.
100%. Yeah. And I also find that it's a neighborhood where, even though it's affluent and expensive, very friendly. Like, I remember even when we were showing your house that you did buy, the neighbor across the street was like unloading their groceries and had like an 18-month-old, and like, it was just like an instant, like, oh, how do you like the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Like, and I think you're now friends with her.
Oh, we've had so many play dates.
Oh, yeah.
We're at each other's house all the time. It's great. They're so lovely.
Oh, that's so nice.
Which is what you want, right?
That's what you want.
Like, granted, it's a pretty busy street, so we're not going to let our kids just like out and play like we would have back in the 90s. But to have neighbors that you can just be like, hey, come on over across the street. Like, we literally waddle over in our pajamas.
Yeah.
And like, myself included, in my pajamas, and like socks to here that do not match. And
I know.
it is what it is. And we're all just very accepting of it. And you can live a very wholesome kind of family life.
100%. That's exactly why we wanted to live here, why we live here, why we moved here. And like, I moved to Toronto. I'm not from Toronto, I'm from Waterloo, but I moved to Toronto when I was 18, and I'm 36 now, so I've been in Toronto for 18 years, been a realtor 18 years. I've sold all over the GTA, but there just really is no place like Midtown. There really, really isn't. And it's not to say that there aren't amazing, like the beaches.
There's great
neighborhoods. The beaches is amazing. Hyde Park's amazing. Yeah. Junction's amazing. There's pockets downtown that are amazing.
Yeah.
There's suburbs that are amazing. There are school catchments that are amazing. Like, I used to live in
Midtown captured your heart.
Sold in Oakville. Yeah. Like, there are great places everywhere, but Midtown absolutely captured my heart. And I moved here in 2019, so almost 7 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
And it's even, like, it already was the pinnacle of what I wanted. And since I've moved here, it's better than I could have possibly imagined.
So we actually moved here around the same time then.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, as those relationships, like, are established and then deepen, it's like, now I can never leave, because these are all my people. And
because you put roots down, right? Like, it becomes a
community roots.
Yeah,
totally. And even you were saying your neighbor at the condo, or like that row calls them grandma and granddad. Like, so next door neighbor to us, if you haven't met them yet, you will meet them when you come for some pool play dates this summer. But Marilyn and Jim Grace are next door neighbors. The day we moved in, they came over with a welcome gift and a handwritten note, like a little candle, like, welcome to the neighborhood. Here are our cell numbers if you need anything.
Yeah.
And they've been in their house since like the 1970s.
Oh, wow.
They raised their 4 kids there. Okay. Their kids are all in their 30s and almost 40s. And Lauren, so her name's Marilyn, and Marilyn Grace, and Lauren calls her Gigi, Grandma Grace.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Grandma
sweet.
Grace. She's Grandma Grace.
See, but that's just it. Like, you build these real relationships.
And Lauren is obsessed. And Jim, so she calls Jim. So it's Gigi and Jim.
Cuties.
And Lauren is obsessed with that.
Yeah.
Like, and when she'll get like she got a new pink water bottle with a unicorn on it.
She wanted to go over and show.
Go show Jim. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, I don't know if Jim wants to see your pink water bottle, but
literally, those arrowroot cookies.
Yeah.
So Grandma Jean, as Ro calls Grandma Jean. So I want Grandma Jean cookies. They're just, anybody can give you these cookies, but he wants Grandma Jean cookies. So I'll give him the same thing, but it's not the same because he didn't get it from Grandma Jean.
That is
Grandma Jean cookies.
So
it's just
sweet.
The little associations they make, and like,
I know. It's special.
Yeah,
it's special. So I guess you kind of already told me why you chose to live in Midtown. But what are your favorite attributes of Leaside, Sherwood Park, Davisville, Pocket? And what are some of your favorite like places to go in the neighborhood?
Okay, well, I hate to admit it, but I will. Ro is a croissant snob. So his favorite.
He's 2.
Yeah, he's 2. Okay,
I don't even think I had anything but a Pillsbury croissant until I was like 18.
Literally, we grew up on Wonder Bread. So,
yeah, exactly.
So what
Pillsbury? I thought a Pillsbury croissant was a croissant.
Yeah, no. So
now I know better.
No, so he will ask to go to Bomu. Right on Bayview,
hilarious.
Bomu. Ever since he was like one and a half, Bomu. I go to Bomu. That's his like thing.
That's so sweet.
Bougie wise, that's his like
But
vice. They're so good.
So good. Everything they offer.
We got a croissant from somewhere else the other day.
And they're chocolates.
They're
like seasonal chocolates.
Yeah.
So have you seen some of them?
They're so beautiful.
They have like Labubu chocolates.
I saw.
They have lipstick chocolates.
I know. They're so fancy.
They're so fancy. Yeah.
We went for a mommy and Sunday, and we got hot chocolate and croissants, and we saw these chocolates, so I caved and I got like these little like snowman shaped chocolates, and they were so cute. And then I was like, okay, we can't eat these. We just have to look at them because they're so pretty.
So pretty.
They're so pretty.
And so fancy.
Yeah.
We're just gonna put them on a shelf.
So that's our bougie Midtown vice.
Okay.
But Sherwood Park is our go-to.
I
Like
know.
before we had Roe, like that's where Justin proposed in Sherwood Park.
Sherwood
Yeah. We're a pandemic couple.
Did you know it was gonna happen? Did you know?
I kind of felt that it was coming.
Was he nervous?
He was just like,
tell me the proposal
going
story.
on and on about like all these.
Wait, how did you
lovely
meet again?
things.
Online?
No, so we met through a family friend of mine that I grew up with.
Okay.
Him and his wife. It was pandemic, and we were on a walk in Yorkville somewhere, and they were like, "So Emily, what are you doing with your life? Like, you've been divorced for however long now, and like,
what are you doing with your life?
Are you meeting somebody? Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, guys, it's a pandemic. I've tried online dating. It is what it is. I don't know where I'm going to meet people right now. And they were like, "Hey," they're going through the roster, like people in their head of like who they can set me up with. And they're like, "Wait, what about Justin?" And then they put the feels out there.
Did you
they
see a
let
picture?
him know. We had
Was it a blind
funny
date?
thing is, no, we
You'd
had
met
several times, like to
at
the
a party?
extent. No, my ex-husband and I had gone to Justin's condo a couple of years in a row for Super Bowl. Because like my ex-husband and this family friend had become friends, and Justin is close friends with my family friend, so we've all kind of known each other over the years.
So you remembered him, obviously.
I remembered him.
So when they said Justin, you were like,
"Oh, I know who that is."
Okay.
I couldn't picture him in the moment.
Did you think he was handsome?
I did, but I couldn't because blinders, right? Like you
fair,
just don't think of that
Okay.
back then. So I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And then I was like, "Sure." And then they gave him my number. They said, "Just message Himali. Like, do you remember her?" And he did. And I remember it was like Father's Day barbecue or something. I got a text from him. I was like, "Oh, okay." And so we ended up talking on the phone, and we went on our first date.
What month and year was this?
This was June 2020.
That's crazy.
June 2020, and then
like a true COVID
couple
relationship.
Yeah. And then
Okay,
we went
continue.
on our first date.
What was
a
your
walk.
date?
We went to
walk?
Hollywood Gelato.
Got
got gelato, and we walked through the neighborhood for literally 4 hours.
You guys are like a quintessential Midtown couple.
Midtown was our first date. Like that was us. And
Walked through the neighborhood. Okay, and then what was the first date like?
it was great. We just chatted and
Was there
walked through the
chemistry?
neighborhood. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And we were just like, okay, so this will happen again, and then just
Okay. And then
built
second
from
date?
there. And then we got engaged 2021.
Wow.
2022, and then we got married a couple of months later. We had a small wedding in Niagara on the Lake,
my
just like the
gosh.
parents, siblings, that's it, and like kept it really tiny, and then got pregnant with Roe by Halloween, and there you go, 2023, he was here, and then our life just like changed
Explosion
even more.
forever,
But like
I know.
until we had Roe, everything was very much like
COVID style outside in Midtown.
and so we really took advantage of getting to know our neighborhood and just walking around all the time. And even so, when he proposed, it was at Sherwood because we had, throughout our relationship, always gone on runs and walks there, and it was a part of our day to day. So we didn't need anything
Okay,
fancy.
give me the
Oh,
proposal.
we went from Sherwood, got engaged, video called the parents, and then we walked over to McSorley's. There was a hockey playoff game happening, so we went and watched the game, and I was like, can I order champagne at McSorley's? So it comes out in like wine glass. I was like, oh, that's okay.
Do you have flutes? Do you
have flutes?
I'm gonna work across the street. I'm gonna buy a flute.
Yeah, but it's okay. We'll do it. But it was like so cute because we went from Sherwood to McSorley's, and that was our
Okay,
engagement.
tell me proposal day. So is he nervous? Is he awkward? Did you know something was up?
I knew something else. He was like being very sweet and very like lots of compliments and telling me how much he
And
loved me. I was like,
and
hey,
you're
this
like,
is coming. This is
I
coming.
know.
In my head, I'm like, just do it.
Just do it.
And we're like walking through, and he found like this like area in Sherwood Park where you go up the stairs and it's like towards the back part of the. Anyways, he didn't even get on one knee.
Like where the dogs are off leash. That area.
No, like further up into the forest there, and
okay.
He didn't even get on one knee, which I was like,
Weird.
what? But he was just being
What did he
so
say?
sweet,
Tell
so
me
I let it
everything
go. Honestly, it's all a blur now. I feel like I blacked out a little bit, but
What
he was
do you
just
remember?
like, could you make me the happiest man? Like marry me, and all it's like so sweet, and like just like he's very like I'm like la di da di da, and he's very much like calm and demure and like will not show all his cards type thing.
I feel like Justin and Hugh are the same person. And
I
you
think
and
so.
me are the same person.
They're
We're
very
like,
similar.
Yeah.
They just put up with our crazy.
They just put up with our crazy.
And Ro's like a good
and we
mixture
give them
of
cute
both.
babies. So
Yeah,
it's a
you're
good,
welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Justin, Huey,
You're welcome.
you're welcome.
Look at these works of art.
Also,
we
I
did
call
that.
him Huey now.
Yeah, I know. I love it.
I love it. My
Huey.
son calls you Courtney,
Courtney,
and I call your husband Huey.
It's Courtney and
Yeah,
Huey.
we're a very odd family.
Speaking of which, we need to play it ASAP.
We really
My house
do.
is a disaster.
Yeah.
but I'm due to have you over for
Yeah,
sure.
it's just, but that's our life, right? And like
That's our
this is
life.
how we build family here.
know.
And it's so funny. We were talking about being a teacher here, but I've also become close friends with some of the parents in my school.
Of course you have.
Which is like such a fine line because you
For
do
sure.
want to maintain professional boundaries and stuff.
sure.
But some of the moms, they're like, yeah, but Himali, you live here now. and your son is going to school with our kids, and it's just like, you need that support system. So why can't we be friends and go to the daughter, or like just hang out, you know? So it's interesting because I'm finding community and like support in so many different areas. Neighbors, like you, and you've introduced me to this whole new community and through my school. So it's just like its own little world here.
Oh, I love it. Okay, shameless plug. I'm going to ask you, what was it like to work with me as a realtor?
The best.
Would you recommend me to your friends?
Already have. to the extent where we were talking to somebody about, like, you know, eventually, like, we'll grow out of this house and whatever, and we might, and so they're like, okay, well, who are you going to go to? And we're like, back to Courtney. Where else would we go? Well, only because you made us feel so comfortable, and like, you know, all jokes aside about family connections, I think in the end, it became how comfortable you made us feel, and you really understood what we were looking for. And there was no judgment about like the fact that we wanted to take things slow and just really focus on getting rid of our condo first. Even though I was obsessed and loved that condo, it changed my life. Because that's where I moved in after my divorce first. And so that, like, I grew there as a human. But like, our whole thing was, okay, we want to sell that first, and then we'll go from there. And you just made magic happen. Like, we went away on vacation and came back, and the condo was sold.
Yeah.
We're like, wait, what? Got a call in the middle of the night in Barcelona. We're like, what do you mean our condo sold? We have nowhere to live now.
DocuSign.
We don't have a home to go to when we get back. But it was great. It was just so easy and comfortable.
I have to say, I primarily focus on Midtown Toronto, and of all of the transactions that I've done in 2025, not only am I, like, my heart warms for both of your transactions, both the selling of your condo and you're buying your home, but also that condo sale is one of my most proud moments. You know how hard it is to sell a condo in 2025?
Yes, the number of people that like looked at us when we said we're gonna list, they're like, "Are you crazy? Like,
know.
What are you doing?" We're like,
and we'll
just see what happens, you know. Like,
we did well.
We did
well.
We were so proud of you. We were like, wow.
Well, thank you so much for calling. This was so fun. I'm so glad you came. Thank you. I love Himali. I love sharing Himali. Like, everybody needs a kindergarten teacher in their life, preferably actually her, but.